What up, sweet Pete? Shave my feet, give me something good to eat. It's another episode of Low Tech Health. Let ourselves translate expert knowledge. And today it's Forgive My Foul Mouth Friday, and I'm wrapping up my refusal to pick a theme. It is the refusal theme, and I refuse to pick a real good theme. And this episode, I refuse to stick to the program. That is the theme of today. I refuse to make any sense of anything today. And you know, I found that that's becoming more popular. A lot of people are asking me, have you read the book, The Subtle Art of How to Not Give a Fuck? I haven't. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck. I'm already there. It's an art form I'm very familiar with. And you know what? I kind of get why people want to be like this, but I came to it as necessity, because I overgave. I gave all of my fucks away. I gave a lot of fucks about litter, and I recycled way many more hours of my life than I'd like to admit. Just rinsing dirty plastics, metals, putting them in containers to be taken to other containers, to take those containers to the big containers that I'm assuming are cleaned regularly and taken to a recycling center, from which that point I did not know what would happen to them. I assumed they were recycled. I assumed that meant they are taken apart and put back together in reusable forms. What I didn't know is what is illuminating and depressing about recycling is that it is taking up a lot of energy in order to break these products down, and a lot of them is to be trashed because they're not cleaned well enough, or they're frankly not recyclable. So I gave up on that. I was out of fucks for that part of my life. I was a vegetarian for 6 years. Not even because I gave too much of a fuck about the animals. I gave a fuck about what I put in my body. I was very, very critical of animals becoming me, and me becoming an animal. So I tried to avoid them in order to see what it would be like to be more human. It didn't really make much of an impact on me. I didn't have, one way or another, much of an increase in who I became, animal or non-animal consumption. And I had to eat a lot more. I'll tell you what, I had to eat a lot more for a lot longer. A lot of chewing. A lot of chewing when it comes to being a vegetarian. A lot of beans, a lot of hummus, a lot of carbs. You become a big cheese eater if you're not very astute when it comes to nutrition. I was a lactovo vegetarian, so I ate eggs and cheese, which is good because you get a whole lot of protein elsewhere. And beans, legumes. I discovered quinoa. That was great. But I ran out of fucks one day after doing some jujitsu with a friend. I was too hungry. I wanted bison. I wanted to eat what my family was eating. So I ate bison, and I haven't looked back. Me over-giving a fuck is the reason my ex became a vegetarian for a while. She saw me freaking out about eating half a real burger at a cheeseburger store. I tried to throw it up. I thought I was ruining my body. Oh, all this down the drain. My body did not want to throw it up. There was no way it was coming out of me. Like, thank you. Oh, protein. Meat. We've been longing for this. So, ran out of fucks for that. What was next? Oh. Yeah. Nursing. Let's see. When did that happen? It started to happen, and I noticed heparin being overused on patients who were going to walk out of the hospital. Didn't have any hypercoagulability risk. Just the magic threshold of being in the hospital and making them seem that they needed more anticoagulation than normal. They needed these powerful subcutaneous heparin shots in their belly. What aspirin could do. Not quite. Almost. Soon. 30, 45 seconds. But, yeah. When did I refuse to stick with a program as a nurse? Well, I never really wanted to stick with a program. I didn't trust hospitals. They terrify me, where all the sick people go. And the differential diagnosis of medicine is the best we have, but it's not perfect, and it allows for massive mistakes to occur when, there's a heavy amount of burden on the patient to present accordingly. Be good historians, forthcoming with their symptoms and presentations when they don't really know what they're experiencing. It happened certainly when I saw a cardiologist make the joke that this patient looks like they could benefit from a pacemaker after their first code blue and ROSC, and their eyes were blown. They needed a new pacemaker in their heart. They had sick sinus syndrome, and the lability of her heart rate from the 40s to the 150s, irregular and regular, just a sick heart, exacerbated her oxygen needs. Oxygen needs worsened her breathing status, developed pneumonia, bacterial pneumonia, which you sure can treat with antibiotics. So we load her up with antibiotics, shut her kidneys down. Meanwhile, she still needs a pacemaker, and we're trying to see if the pneumonia will clear up before that's provided. It didn't. She died. Brought her back. She's starting to die again. Now we'll put the pacemaker in her. He wasn't even supposed to be there. He was at a wedding and was admitting a patient on the other side of the unit when he came to check in on this one. Well, tune in next week to find out how I nuggeted her and the patient next door. It's a great story. And next week, we'll go with a theme of contrarians. Contrary. Opposite. Antithesis will be the theme of next week. We'll continue this casual rebellion in low-tech health. So please, forgive my foul mouth Friday. I had a fucking great week. I'll see you Monday. Love you guys.